Hello everyone and welcome to this video. The reason I'm creating this video, which is a speed run of a few karate features, is to commemorate the 6th year of karate existing as an open source project. It's a great milestone. Thank you all for supporting this project for so many years. It's been a great experience for me personally. Karate started out as an API testing tool and a lot of enterprise users use it for that purpose. And I would like to pick 6 features which are close to my heart, which I think are really differentiating karate from other options. And I'll go through them in this video and do a quick demo of some of them. So let's see how it turns out. First, let me talk about JSON support. JSON support is very important, as you all imagine, for APIs, and karate has especially good support for representing JSON natively within test scripts. Let me show an example. Here you see an example of JSON being used as a request body. You can even make JSON snippets as named variables and then reuse them later in your script. And of course, when you run a test, you get some very nice colored output in the log. And let me show you the report. You see inline the HTTP traffic. So karate supports JSON and HTTP really well. So that's one of the key things about karate. End user workflows is important, and I feel not many tools do a good job of this. When you're trying to test, you're trying to test your end users traversal through your system. And if I show you the example here, if I open this other tab, which is the HTTP report, you can actually see a transcript. You can see these are all the API calls made as a consequence of running this test script. This is really important. This is how APIs are actually used in real life, and you need to be testing like this, the way in which your users are using your system. All right, so data-driven testing is a very powerful thing that karate can do. You can even load CSV files or load rows of data from a database and then plug them into your scenarios, which again is really important. What this means for you is that you can do things like boundary value testing. You can test negative scenarios and positive scenarios in the same flow and so on. Parallel execution, you actually get what I'm showing you here on the screen. When you run a test, I'm not going to run one now because it's going to take time, but we've heard of users actually crunch tests that ran in the order of 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and it comes down to almost like 5 minutes. This is like a very realistic speed increase that you can expect. And the reason is karate is really good at taking API tests and putting them onto multiple threads. And you can actually see in this report here, you can troubleshoot, you can actually see which scenarios held up the other scenarios in your test. Java interop is worth mentioning because this allows some teams to do really cool things. You can call a database, for example, or you can wait for a message to arrive on a queue. You can actually mix and match all these things, and you can actually turn these tests into a performance test, which is my last point. And let me show you a quick example. Now, I'm going to bring up IntelliJ. Earlier, you were seeing the Visual Studio Code plugin. So I'll show you IntelliJ for a change. Remember, these plugins are making karate work right in the development environment which your teams use. And the advantages of everything being local is that it's all Git friendly and you don't worry about any of your data leaking into the cloud, which is typical of some kind of SaaS providers. So here the test is a very simple API test that's doing a flow like we talked about. And if I run this test, and on the left you see you're going to see the console start showing that the test is running. So we're hitting a server with load, and the UI can be now refreshed to show you that, okay, there's a lot of data going to the system. When you complete the test, you actually get this very nice report, which is a Gatling specialty. So you get this wonderful reports, all built in. Karate delegates to Gatling, and that's the advantage of using karate. You can reuse your existing functional test scripts as a performance test. So that's all I had. I think I did a good job in completing all this in 5 minutes, non-stop, in single take. Thank you all for watching, and please check us out at github.com/karate labs.